In 2011, 9 novice explorers embarked on an adventure of a lifetime to attempt the second stage of the world's first unsupported trek along Namibia's Skeleton Coast. The Namib is one of the few coastal deserts in the world and boasts the highest dunes on the planet. At 130 million years, it's also the oldest. This stretch of coastline has claimed many ships over the centuries and was nicknamed the Gates of Hell in the 1400s by Portuguese sailors. It's known by the Bushmen as the land God made in anger.
Hi Sam, Steph, how are you doing? Nice to meet you.
The expedition is led by myself, Sam McConnell.
Hi, how are you doing? All right.
Really well, thank you. How are you?
And team assistant Johan Everson. The group came from the UK and the US and did not know each other. So as well as a mighty test of strength and endurance, it would also be a challenge to quickly get this group of strangers to bond as a team. We started our epic journey very early on the 19th of May 2011.
A few last minute minor adjustments and on with the packs. Do your special pirate stretch, Stu.
Right, off to do the skeleton coast.
This is amazing. It's hard to imagine that I will be doing this for the next 18 days. It's going to be an absolutely incredible journey.
The route would take us from Terrace Bay to the Angolan border and then east across the Dune Sea, where we would rendezvous with a pickup vehicle at a rocky outcrop called Bushman's Hill. A journey of over 300 kilometres. For the next 18 days, we would be completely unsupported by the outside world.
You can see for miles and miles, and there's just no sign of civilization, and just us. Desert and sea. Wow.
At 5 p.m, I call time and we start to set up camp for the night. To bring all the drinking water for this 18-day expedition is impossible, so a crucial part of our kit is the desalination equipment. Its pioneering technology can miraculously turn seawater into drinking water.
So this just shows how slowly the water actually comes through. So we have to pump 10 litres of saline to get 1 litre of fresh water. So unfortunately, slow and steady is the way.
Each day we will have to produce around 55 litres of water, all drawn from the freezing Atlantic Ocean. And then each day in shifts, pump it through this system for over 5 hours to make enough for the following day. Well, for day one it's been fantastic actually. Our new pumping system seems to be doing well. We're getting the girls getting it set up here. As you see, we found a very nice sheltered spot. We haven't quite done the mileage we were hoping to do today, but we're not far off it actually, and for first day it's a bloody good effort, so I'm happy as Larry.
Okay, lift those up for me please,
Yep.
gents.
I'm sleeping with these two tonight.
I'm not a terrible
These
snorer.
two are terrible snores and I'm sleeping in the middle of them tonight.
Woohoo!
Just completed day one, which is such a good feeling. I think I was a little bit surprised at quite how much work there was going to be to do once we'd actually finished walking.
Diagnostic checks on self show some very sore feet. Just generally my feet just feel like they're just taking a pounding.
Distance covered today, 14 miles. Only another 186 to go.
morning. How
Very
did you
good. What time is it? Oh, it's 5:10.
Tell us about the first night.
Nothing like spooning with two sweaty men. Let's just say that.
Bit sweaty. Woke up quite a few times.
Not a huge amount of space.
There's not a huge amount of space.
Sleeping with this man and that man.
That guy right
Both
there,
of them
yeah.
sweating like pigs.
Yeah. And somebody else was noisy, not only snoring, I must say.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The earplugs that I borrowed worked wonders because I didn't hear either of these two last
I wonder
night.
why you weren't moving at all.
That's good about the earplugs, you know, maybe you get another plug on the other end, we wouldn't hear you.
The women are to carry 28 kilograms and the men 35, which means everything will be carried on our backs, including tents, medical supplies, clothing, cooking stoves and all our freeze-dried rations.
Veggie option. Wild West chili and beans. It was really tasty, but
Although physically we can't carry enough to provide 3 meals a day, these rations will contain all the vitamins and calories we need.
This is Stephanie Curry and I'm from Big Valley, California, United States. I decided to join the Army, serve my country, and did that for the past 6.5 years, and I just got out a week before this expedition.
Do you see this kind of expedition almost as a kind of nice transition between army life and civilian life?
Yeah, looking at this, I don't think this expedition could have come at a better time. It definitely is a nice transitional piece. Unfortunately, I have to take it out on you all.
Today, the team have consumed too much water, over 5 litres per person. That night, we are forced to set up camp next to a steep, pebbled bank, where we struggle to get close enough to the shoreline. The sea is so rough, I soon decide to abandon our efforts, in case someone falls in, or worse, breaks an ankle. Worried we haven't retrieved enough seawater to pump, Sarah tries to calculate if we will have enough drinking water for tomorrow.
so what we'll do is as we go, you go around each person and you say, right, you ask this amount of litres of water, then you check it, and then if we get, it will only be like a couple of litres out, it won't be loads out.
Probably, with the food, probably 4 litres. This is probably about a litre for me.
I think it's beginning to dawn on them just how much time and effort we are going to be spending on something we normally take for granted.
Day 2. Today I was nominated to lead the expedition. I found it hard keeping the pace slow for the other people. Got frustrated a few times with the level of fitness of certain members, but that's all part and parcel of it. You've got to understand that other people might not be as long-legged as me.
So I've got blisters already, and as a result I was tagging about 100 and 150 metres behind the group most of the day, which I hate doing, and as a result it really gets to your sort of motivation. I have to admit, a couple of, upwellings of tears.
So now we get ready to start another day on the Skeleton Coast.
The doctor is in. Emma has 2 bleeding stumps that used to be feet. And what we're going to try and do is bandage them up a bit so that we don't leave a trail of blood down the beach.
Sam's very kindly attending to my blisters. He's being very gentle, but hopefully it looks as though I'll be up and running in no time.
It's going to hurt like buggering to start off with, but trust me, if you can keep going, pain will stop. Eventually your pain receptors just give up. They just stop working. They say, right, I'm getting bored of that. Right, Emma, you're done.
Thank you, Doctor. Very kind.
I'm Stuart Lee, I'm 34 years old, live in Yorkshire with my wife and 3-year-old son Wilfred. I work in an office, which is quite different to this environment. I've never really done any expedition adventuring before. I think I'm probably the luckiest so far in terms of got no injuries. Well, blood blister, but really nothing to worry about considering other people's feet seem to be destroyed completely.
Maybe Stuart has beginner's luck, because when we reach the end of day 3, some of the other team members are really suffering.
I've kind of had this problem before in Borneo, but this one's pretty bad.
It's not just rucksacks that are causing blisters. Mac, who at 59 and the oldest member of the team, admits to me blisters on his feet have been causing him major problems for the past few days. When he takes off his boots, it's not a pretty sight.
I didn't know it was bad until I saw the blood in the sand. I'm losing 3 toenails. This is stupid. This shouldn't happen to me. I've hiked miles and miles up and down the mountains and carrying, and I've never had a blister. Must be the boots. Something like that. Can't be anything wrong with me.
Those we might save. Bullet wounds, no problem. Strap, no. Snake bite, no. Nails, horrible.
As well as team leader, my other role will be chief medic. I ask Emma to help assist me in patching up Mac's feet. Her terrible blisters have been causing her to lag behind today, and I can sense it's getting her down. I'm hoping some of Mac's all-American optimism will rub off on her.
This is nothing. I'm doing this to raise money for MS Plus, have a good time. What people with MS go through is nothing compared to this. I feel I'm lucky, so I can't complain. So all you gotta do is look at it and say, it's a pain. Take a big step and say, grin, say, you know, think how lucky you are to be here. Seriously. I mean, no, look at this. You're one of 11 people doing something that's never been done before. How lucky is that? Huh?
True, I have to keep reminding myself.
Remind yourself of that. That's what I do. I say, look, this is nothing. Actually, I think it's pretty funny. You know that? You think you're really good?
You got a funny sense of humor.
I'm probably one of the first people that's done this, right? It's like another first. Lose your 3 toenails on the Skeleton Coast.
Mac's the hardest man in the world. He just sort of turns around and goes, oh yeah, oh, some of my nails are falling off. And just got on with it.
I'll put a plaster on it, that'll be fine.
It's not like we've got to do anything today.
Yeah, I'm only walking 15 miles across the desert with 35 kilograms on my back.
For him to be leading the group all day is pretty amazing. I feel a bit ashamed really, dragging behind like that with just blisters on my backs, my heels. He's a tough one, I'll tell you.
I feel like a new man. Bandages on my toes. I'm in great shape.
Today is day 4. I'm team leader and it's 5:40. Maybe try and make up a little bit of the mileage that we're behind today. So big push this morning. Big push.
Four days in, and we're still not hitting our daily target of 15 miles, which is really starting to worry me. With another 2 weeks to go, it's only going to get a lot tougher for everyone. So we have to start clocking up the miles or we will fail this world first attempt. There's not a cloud in the sky, so we're at the full mercy of the equatorial sun. By mid-morning it is 30 degrees, but it feels considerably hotter due to the white sand reflecting back the searing heat.
So that's Maury Bay, that's the last outpost of civilization. That's it, we're now completely clear to do the rest of the trek.
It will be 15 days before we see civilization again.
Those days that you just makes you especially glad that you've made all this effort to come. Really, you know, beginning to properly enjoy it, I think. And less endure it, more enjoy it.
Today has most definitely been the most rewarding of all the days. We've actually managed to stop for lunch, having completed our target 10 miles in the morning. It was so satisfying.
But hitting our target has come at a cost. As well as bad blisters, Emma is now struggling with an old leg injury. So Johan, my second in command, hangs back with her to keep her spirits up and crucially helps her get to camp.
They're still a little funny looking, but seem to be holding well.
Every time I put my foot down, it's like a searing pain in my leg. I can't put it down. The pace was fine until the last sort of mile or so when I sort of hit my exhaustion barrier. But I'm fine now, that's the thing. You know, as soon as we stop, I feel fine.
So today is pretty good. It was a lot of fun, actually. I really enjoyed myself. Felt like I was marching some troops again or something. Had a talk with Sam, and I guess we're in some shit because we're so behind now of it on map. If we do our designated 15 miles, we're gonna end up smack in the middle of this massive river, teeming with lions. So, you know, I wish we wouldn't be behind. I wish that everybody was up to par enough to where we could be ahead of schedule a little bit.
The main reason I'm in here is because things are breaking down slow. We've got a weakness in the team, a real weakness. But I thought it would improve after the last situation. It hasn't. It's getting worse.
A few people can keep up, but then, you know, they go too fast and it exhausts everybody else, and it's just kind of a mess.
This is an expedition. Just got to buckle.
It's a foggy start to day 5. And we have some new additions to the team. A pod of dolphins follows us for most of the morning. And then we stumbled across our first shipwreck.
So this is really exciting. It's pretty early in the morning and we're just coming up to our first shipwreck.
Arr! We'll be pirates.
There is also supposed to be a bigger and much more famous wreck not far from here. The Dunedin Star, a cargo ship that ran aground in 1942. It was carrying World War II supplies and passengers from Liverpool to South Africa, but never made it.
This is the coordinates I was given for the Dunedin Star. I mean, there's some wreckage around, planks, and as far as the actual ship itself, it's either completely broken up, disappeared, or it's buried under the sand.
Later that day, we pass a huge floodplain of the Horiseb riverbed, where we find wrecks of a more modern kind.
A couple of trucks stuck here, big time, probably mining trucks, in the salt pan, which is one of the things you should never do is drive on a salt pan.
We've got to get 17, 18 miles into today to get past possible lions, hyenas, etc. Not a nice place to be. So pushing on, doing about 2.5 miles an hour, which is good pace. We'll keep it up all day. Hopefully everybody's starting to realise it's an expedition, not a holiday.
People are joking with me, say it's spectacular today. Every time I say something, they say it's either fantastic or spectacular, but it is. It's just an incredible opportunity to be here. So I'm having so much fun.
Another early start, and it's been a bitterly cold night.
Probably the coldest night we've had last night. Very, very windy, so it's quite noisy, but once I was asleep it was fine.
It feels even colder due to the ferocious sandstorm that has whipped up from the south. With no dunes for shelter, we are sandblasted to smithereens.
fantastic afternoon pumping. It's quite hard work, but everything, including your pockets and every gap in your clothing and your face, you're wet with sand all the time.
Straight into your face. You can't see what you're doing. It's in your mouth, it's out your shorts, it's everywhere.
It's so windy outside. And every time poor Em moves, I go like this.
She's fighting vainly against the sand, trying every 2 minutes to clear it out of the tent. We're trying to tell her she's facing a losing battle.
Yeah.
Move it, people. Arr. Arr.
We grit our teeth, put our heads down and somehow manage to achieve an impressive 10 miles by midday.
How are you feeling today, Gary?
Fair to middling.
Gary's feeling fair to middling. And how are you feeling today, Matt?
Spectacular.
Spectacular. There you see are the cultural differences between the two great nations of America and Yorkshire. Basically, me and Gary explained to Matt that everything great in the world comes from Yorkshire, which it clearly does, doesn't it, Matt?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. To be honest, it's just like going for a walk at Whitby or Scarborough, where you find the best beaches in the world. Mac from California will try and say that the beaches in California are better than Yorkshire, but he's clearly mistaken.
That is my left baby toe, which doesn't resemble much like a toe right now.
This is my tent companion, Jo, who has just shown me her feet tonight, which has become a bit of a ritual, and she has just spurted her blister on her right foot again.
And
Oh, Jo, tissue.
It's really bad.
Probably in any other circumstances this would be quite sort of unnormal.
Oh dear.
On day 8, we cover another 15 miles. But at a price. Everyone is now nursing war wounds, and I'm starting to sense that team fatigue is creeping in.
We're just trying to determine if we've got enough water from this morning left over for lunch. Fingers crossed we do, because the sea is about 500 metres walk that way.
Some people seem to be using up their water supplies much quicker than others, which is making Gary, a seasoned trekker, a tad peeved.
You drank a litre in 6 hours, but you still say you need a litre for the next 2 hours.
I'm saying I'd like to have it in case it gets warmer and I need to drink more. But then if I don't drink it, there'll be less to pump tonight. Hey, I suggested that earlier.
If it makes it easier and we move on and we get to Camp Airlie and we're not pumping in the dark, drink all the water.
Is this all you have left?
So probably it's just enough for lunch, yeah.
I think if we don't have to pump water at lunchtime, it's extremely advantageous because we can get done quicker. That's an impartial answer where I don't give an answer. Should be a politician.
Yeah. But you said you sweat, you're sweating it out, but I'm peeing it out. Well, if you're peeing it out, that's obviously wasting it. If I'm sweating it out, I've got the right balance. If you're going for a pee every hour, you're drinking too much. I'm happy, I don't really care.
Today was my turn leading the group. I was really chuffed. We made really good time in the morning. We managed to fit in about 10-11 miles before we stopped for lunch. It's now 5:15 and we've pretty much finished the pumping for the day, which means, you know, they're not pumping in the dark when it's cold and they get their food. I'm starting to get a sense of achievement, which is really exciting.
People are a lot stronger now, a lot less inclined to give up. The weak link that I talked about earlier on has really improved. She pushed through the pain. She's done a lot better. I'm really impressed with the way she's moving along.
Early this morning, Stuart suddenly makes a dash for the dunes. And 10 minutes later, he returns with a spring in his step, as nature has finally called.
I've had my first movement for 6 days. It was a magnificent experience. If Mac was there looking at it, he would have probably said spectacular. Oh, I feel like a new man. Look, look. White as
We're officially halfway, and to mark us walking 150 kilometres, we are greeted by a massive colony of Cape fur seals. The stench of the seals and the rotting fish is horrendous.
Quite often it's so crowded on the rocks there that the babies get squashed flat by the adults. And you have the big bulls that sit on the surf line protecting their harem behind them, and then you have the outcast males on the outskirts trying to come in and fight these big things so they can mate. What we don't want to do is get in between the seals and the sea, because they get stressed out and they've got a very vicious set of teeth on them, and you don't want to get bitten by them.
Being bitten by one of these bacteria-riddled beasts could prove fatal. So we cautiously navigate past them and set up camp as far away from them as possible.
We found our camp spot for the night. It's a bit exposed. We've walked 15.5 miles, so half a mile more than we wanted to, but there was a massive seal colony back there and we didn't really want to spend the night sleeping with sea lions. So it's been a tough day, still got to pump some water, but we've made it through, so another day done. Woohoo! Morning!
Good morning, camera.
Another day in paradise, eh?
Day 10! Double figures!
I have woken up and been completely astounded by the state of my foot. My blister looks incredibly good. My left toe is actually pain-free for the first time in quite a few days. What a brilliant start to day 10.
As we cross this harsh and unforgiving landscape, Emma suddenly stops in her tracks. Her leg injury has flared up again.
Is it here or is it on the side?
It's like right here.
So this whole part, okay.
It's just like I'm really shooting.
Right, what I'm
agonizing
going to
pain
do
whenever I
is,
put my foot.
we're just going to bandage Emma's leg up because she's suffering from something like shin splints, which is probably she's stretched a tendon down the front of the leg, the knee to the foot. So we're just going to put some support on it. The problem is it's just going to take a while to warm up and get going, yeah? Is that any better?
That's good.
Yeah?
Sam stepped in and gave me some sort of psychological boost, and it's really helped me to look that bit deeper inside myself and find reserves of strength.
Secretly, I'm having problems too. I have somehow torn a ligament in my left knee. But luckily for me, I'm the chief medical officer, so I've been prescribing myself a cocktail of painkillers to keep me going.
Decided to take a half day here so people will recuperate with injuries. It's a nice spot, well protected, close to the water. So we're going to set up camp here and enjoy a bit of sun.
That night I call a team meeting. I want to tell them my plans to take us inland for the final leg of this expedition.
We've covered about 160, 170 miles so far. So we have this distance to cover, but we can't walk next to the river. As you can see here, the contours are really stacked up close to each other, so this is very steep. A, it's too rocky, and B, we're walking, getting to a blind end and having to either walk back or walk up a very steep cliff. And our RV point is about here somewhere, yeah? So we'd be cutting across.
And the idea on the 18th is to get there. What kind of time have you agreed with them at the moment, or any time, or just
late afternoon?
Right, okay.
If we start running behind, for whatever reason, we're going to have to start pulling long days again. Yeah.
We have 15.5 miles to go today, so it's not going to be a real easy day, but I really think it's important for those of us who like to walk fast to slow down, and those of us who like to walk slower to speed up, so we can all stay together, because this is really what I think we should be doing. Okay, everybody, let's saddle up and head out.
A short while after setting off, we spot a brown hyena scavenging at the water's edge. It comes right up to us, which is very strange behaviour, and makes me think it may be rabid.
Don't look dangerous at all, because the short back legs look rather stupid animals, but they're one of the best predators around, so you've got to be wary when you see them.
After setting up camp, Claire, our camera woman, pulls from her rucksack a handful of letters from home.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, bloody Nora. Do you want to see me cry?
They are from partners, friends and family. Hopefully a much needed boost for everyone's flagging morale.
Dear Daddy, I hope you like my owl. Keep going, love you lots and lots, Wilfred. You will notice that is the finest owl ever drawn. Dearest Stuart, there has never been any doubt in my mind that what you have chosen to undertake will be the most challenging thing for you physically, mentally and emotionally in your life so far. You are amazing, I am so very proud of you. Bet you are sweating like I can't say that word, and have stinky feet. Now moving on to more important matters. Have you kept him safe? I'm not sure I should read this bit. I hope the pants were worth the dosh, because I'm very much looking forward to making babies with an Explorer. Arrgh. All our love and wishing you home safely. Smithy, that's Rebecca, my wife, and Wilfred. Oh, that's nice.
Oh my. Oh, it's my family!
If this task were easy, then others would have done it before you. You have the opportunity to complete a world first, to write history, not to read it. Remember, the more you put into life, the more you get out of it. So just get on and do it. Love, Mum and Dad. That's amazing. This makes me really happy to read this. It's certainly not making me sad.
It's from my mum, and it says, my darling, you're a wonderful and amazing person of whom I am so proud. I've been told that this expedition will take you to new heights and deep troughs in emotion and test your physical endurance to a level of which you had no comprehension. You're one of the strongest people I know. Not at the moment. And whilst it sometimes seems so overwhelming, painful and terrifying, you are able to do it, and with such grace, a positive attitude, and with that beaming smile. This just gives me like a really good boost for like the last push, so thank you everybody.
The team are really now suffering from exhaustion and mistakes are being made. During the night, a vital piece of equipment has been broken.
Someone's knocked over one of the stoves, which is basically, we can't use it now, so we're down to 2 stoves. So everybody's getting fatigued and tired, but we've got to be careful with everything. Lose another one, we're in serious trouble. We've only got 1 stove for all of us. So let's just be careful with the kit and just keep an eye on everything.
As the Skeleton Coast is a protected area, we must leave no trace of our presence behind, which means the now useless and heavy stove will have to be carried all the way to the end. Today is our final day, walking along the coast before we head inland. These huge bones are the remains of a massive whale.
Look what we've come across. This is huge. This is part of the spine and it stretches for about 20 metres. A great find.
After walking a further 11 miles up the coast, we encounter the Sperrgebiet, a forbidden diamond zone. Trespassing here could lead to severe consequences, so I'll need to take us on a detour around it. Rather than, risking $100,000 Namibian dollar fine or 2 years in prison or both. I decide to break for the day and we will make the detour in the morning.
I just want you to know how proud of you I am for going on this adventure and having the opportunity to discover a new place and most likely a new part of you that has been stashed away somewhere in there. There's such a small percentage of the world that actually gets to live out a dream, or even one of them for that matter. But no matter what, I am right here and will be your cheerleader and supporter. Jason, I would love to see you in a cheerleader outfit. I think that's going to be Halloween this year.
After 15 days of heavy use, the desalination pumps are starting to fail. This equipment has never been tested in such extreme desert conditions, and they can't let us down now. The problem is you have one tiny piece of sand goes onto one of those O-rings, it stops working. If the pumps fail completely, then the whole expedition would have to be abandoned. It's something that doesn't bear thinking about.
Sam, what are you doing just now?
Well, just trying to see if it's actually working or not. But it takes quite a long time for these things to pump up. But it's not looking very positive. Is that right, you reckon?
No, the other ones.
Oh my god. It's not as much as the others, but it's better than nothing.
Guess this is from Nick.
Who's Nick?
He's my best mate. Known him for 24 years. My initial gut reaction was I really don't think you need a letter of support. I have no doubt that you have the ability to complete this walk. You're willing to take risks and you have done so many times, and things are always working out in your favour. You always land on your feet, a cat with 9 lives, which is quite true. You're a stubborn and determined person who will persevere, will push yourself to the edge and get the way you want to go. But you'll get there, probably before everyone else does. Remember, you only live once, so don't waste time by losing faith in yourself. Remember, where your mind goes, your body will follow. Yeah, he's a good lad, isn't he?
This is our first morning that we've just left the Skeleton Coast. We are skirting round this diamond mine. We're not allowed to go through it for really obvious reasons. I wanted just to explain about the camera. Tried everything possibly could. However, all you can see is black through the viewfinder screen. So the rest of this documentary is being filmed on this little kind of lipstick camera. So should be interesting.
As we hit the dunes, Steph spots up ahead a lone man who she thinks has been following us for the last few miles.
What's happening, Steph?
Well, there's some guy that's been spying on us ever since we riled up the dogs on the Angola border. He's been chasing us on a quad. He's on top of a dune, and I think he just shouted at Sam, so Sam's gonna try and go be a diplomat. And looks a little freaky though. He's walking pretty intently.
Yeah.
Luckily for us, the mystery chap turns out to come from the diamond mine. He tells me he was just curious to find out why a bunch of sunburnt foreigners were hobbling through this desert.
We have not seen many people.
Yeah.
Namdeb from the mine over there, he was just coming
well, to say hello, but also he thought we were taken the wrong way to get to the Cwneni Mund, the mouth of the Cwneni. Anyway, it's a very jolly chap.
Do you think he gets many visitors?
I doubt it. I suspect he's the caretaker. He's probably there all on his own.
Bye. Bye. How's it going, Catherine?
Hot. Slightly burnt wrist, so I've got my trouser legs on my arms to try and keep the sun off. I look like a freak, I've already been told, but I don't really care.
Later that day, as we near the Cwneni River, I hit a problem. Walking over the dunes has really aggravated my torn ligament. I'm praying I will be able to keep going. The last thing the team needs is a lame team leader.
It is extremely hot and people are starting to run out of water. So we are heading off the sand dunes now and we are going down to the river.
I can see the first run in fresh water we've seen for 16 days, and I just want to jump in, and it's making me feel extremely thirsty. I would love to jump in and have a swim, but obviously the danger of that is I could get eaten by a crocodile, so it's a toss-up really if I'm going to do it or not.
For the first time in over 2 weeks, we can all wash and wallow in as much water as we want.
Oh, that feels so good. Spectacular.
The rest is sandy.
What a wonderful feeling. Oh, I could sit in here for hours. We chose to do it not because it was easy,
but because it was hard. We chose to do this expedition. We wanted to do it because it's a world's first, right? This is where the boys from the men, the girls from the women, this is where you step the fuck up. This is where you put it all in. Because we like hard shit. We don't like fucking boring stuff. That's why we're here. So, no slacking.
Rousing sentiments indeed from our ex-army gal, but Johan is feeling less gung-ho. He has been studying the route map to plot the quickest way to our pickup point through the high dunes. We will soon be heading away from the Cwneni River, and with nowhere to draw water from and temperatures soaring, we have no margin for error.
What are you doing, Johan?
Just double checking on the map where the RV is. We've got 2 full days across the dunes to get to the RV point. It's just a long way to go, and especially in these dunes and the heat that we've experienced today.
With only a few hours of daylight left, we have no time to lose and make the 300-metre climb up onto the dune plateau. We step like tightrope walkers along the ridgelines. It's breathtaking, but also back-breaking.
Down the dunes, which I don't like, but we're going to bounce down like this. Oh. How's it feeling now we're up here?
Brilliant now we're here. Earlier in the day was not quite so brilliant. It was significantly hotter. I was significantly more tired and kind of unable to take a look around and see where exactly we are, whereas now it's absolutely spectacular.
I can't believe that we were by the sea this morning and now I've never felt as isolated as this. Like we've just surrounded by the most incredible view of dunes.
It's just absolutely fantastic. It's spectacular. I cannot say enough about this trip. I am so ecstatic. It's just, hey, there's a new word for you, Joe, ecstatic.
There we go, yeah.
This is why we're all here. Exactly why we're all here.
Aww, let's put a photo. Me and Chris. Having been handed this letter, it means you're having a bit of a tough time. Aww, well, you've only got yourself to blame. Seriously though, don't ever doubt your vast resources of inner strength. You can overcome whatever hurdles you have been put in your way. Bless him.
So, dear Mac, I love you very much. I look forward to seeing you, watching any films and viewing your pictures of the trip and hearing your stories. Enjoy your trip home. So see you soon. My love always, Gail. She's one of the reasons I'm the luckiest guy in the world. It's really, really nice to have this. It's really wonderful. It's a treasure. It's fantastic.
When the chips are down, people forget about keeping up appearances. Ta-da! And show their true colours in the form of weakness or strength. People are like stained glass windows. They sparkle and shine when the sun is out, but when the darkness sets in, their beauty is revealed only if there is a light within. Keep your light shining.
We're trying to set off as early as possible today because it was really hot yesterday, so we want to try and get as many of the miles done before it gets hot. Water's becoming critical, so we want to get a lot of the walking done while it's cold so we don't drink a lot of water, so we don't have to pump all afternoon. So let's go! Let's go!
Everyone is now suffering from the extreme heat. This is by far the toughest part of our journey. And my leg is now causing me serious problems.
Sam, the expedition leader, is really suffering with his knees. He's obviously experienced in leading desert expeditions, so I think that just shows how much of a grueling expedition this is.
Rather than jeopardise the whole expedition, I decide to try and move our pickup point closer.
Hey Gerhard, how are you? I was just wondering if there was any way or we could meet the vehicles sooner rather than later. Well, some of us are in pretty poor shape, and also we're struggling to do the miles through the dunes at the moment. If you don't hear from me for whatever reason, the old rendezvous point still stands, yeah? Alright, cheers mate, see you later, bye.
I've been told the 4x4 vehicle has already set off, so we have no choice but to stick to the original RV point. I just hope we can all make it.
The sun has come out in full force. As soon as the sun comes out, everything seems a bit more of an effort.
The temperature soars, and so we're forced to descend back to the Kunene River to replenish our water supplies. This is the last chance to pump enough water to last us through to the end.
I mean, this morning I think we only managed to do 5 miles and we wanted to do 11 today, so what we've had to do is try and get the RV point moved 5 miles closer, which will hopefully then give us enough time tomorrow to get to the RV point. To do that, we're pumping as much water as we can at the moment.
To get as much water possible with us now, we've taken the dry bags where we have our sleeping bags to keep them dry, and just now fill them up with a bit of water to just get that extra bit to get us to the rendezvous point tomorrow.
Everybody appreciates how hard it is in the dunes now, so we can move it a bit closer, a bit easier. The quicker I get my proper cigarettes and a barbecue, and the closer you are to the bar. But in the end, it's pretty hard out here, I must admit.
I cannot believe this is our last day's pumping. Definitely grateful when we finally get to turn on the tap.
We wait until late afternoon for the temperature to drop and head one final time into the ancient desert dunes.
very tired looking stew.
There's been no word from the RV vehicle, so I phone HQ hoping they may have some news.
New RV point is south 17 1200. Fucked. Well, I'm on ridiculous amounts of painkillers just to finish this. Anyway, look, I better sign off. Sam out.
You can see the end in sight now, and I'll be disappointed when it's finished. I wouldn't mind to spend a little bit longer here, seeing exactly what I could do. That's me though. I mean, we've got to work as a team, we've got other people's paces. It's all good. It's all good.
It's the last day of the expedition. With no word from HQ or the 4x4, I decided that we should press on to the original RV pickup point.
So what we're going to do is we're going to skirt. We're going to keep our altitude because it's easier to walk here, and we're going to keep, parallel to the river. And if we get any confirmation that we can go to that RV, we can just drop down to it. Yeah.
We're working off a bearing about 35 degrees, which is actually just under Jupiter. So we're just following that line as much as we can, regardless of the ups and downs of the dunes, so that we stay as much on course as possible.
This is a high-risk strategy, but I see no other choice. The thermometer shoots up into the 40s, and water is now running critically low.
So 5 and a bit of hours of walking, absolutely shattered. Basically we decided to put up the tents, get some bit of shelter for the next few hours in the real heat of the day. It's getting really hot. Hopefully that way will preserve a bit more of the water.
We've got water between us and people are starting to run low. We'll start to have to share. This is absolutely a team effort now. No hiding caches of water down your socks. Gary.
I decide that we will lay up during the heat of the day to conserve our dangerously low supply of water. For the next 6 hours we act like human statues. No talking, moving or drinking. Lying motionless in this scorching sand and heat is pure torture.
Let's just say today's been a tiny little bit tough. We're really hoping that the guys are just over there. I can't actually say how much I'm hoping that.
With the sun rapidly setting, we march in silence towards the first RV point, hoping that they will be waiting for us. In the back of my mind is the stark reality that if somebody can't make it through tonight, we may be forced to leave them behind. In the pitch black, we wait and wait, but nothing arrives. So we shoulder our rucksacks once more and go 10 kilometres west towards the second RV point, hoping that's where they are heading to.
I think the fact that it wasn't there, and we said, okay, we've got 6 miles to go, and I thought, well, 6 miles, that's a 10K.
We'd all be really careful with our water, and we weren't sure how far we needed to walk. Just to the new RV or to the old one.
When you get to a hill, just put your head down and 1 foot after the other and climb up, and whether it's easy or hard, it didn't really make any difference.
It was very exciting for me. It was what I was looking for in the whole trip. That whole day epitomised what I needed from the trip.
I decided at 15 minutes I was allowed a proper mouthful of water every 15 minutes and not in between. At which point I would then guzzle the whole mouthful, but I'd hold it in my mouth and then really slowly swallow it.
It was one of those challenges, I think, that is important for all of us to go through, to see how do you react when you come to these difficult situations.
It might be a walk in hell, but it was one of those character building moments in your life, and I think a lot of people will take a lot from it.
With a few kilometres left to go, we suddenly hear the unmistakable rumble of an engine.
By the time we saw the lights of the truck coming over the horizon, over the hill. People were on the last, literally the last drop of water.
And the realisation that we weren't going to have to walk any further was outstanding.
8:30 at night. That's it. We made it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What did you
Sing
say?
it.
Thank you.
Thank you. How you feeling, Kat?
I've never been so happy to see a Land Rover in my life. I'm so happy.
The excitement on people's faces was something to behold. When you saw that light come over, it was just like, hallelujah. It was a special moment.
For me, seeing the Land Rover brings on a mixture of emotions. Joy, huge relief, but also excruciating pain. My knee has completely collapsed by this point. But I didn't care because we'd made it. Our time on the Skeleton Coast has come to an end, and what an epic journey it's been. Friendships were formed, blisters were broken, and incredibly, a world first was achieved along this section of the formidable Skeleton Coast. Our footsteps across these sandy plains will still be here long after we are gone. But it's an experience we will never forget.